The Happy Meal came out when I was like 8, so draw your own conclusions. Hey guys, it's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer, and welcome back to my channel. On this channel, I talk about things that interest me, and today we're talking about some further reasons why fast food fucking sucks. And it's an article that we're going to look at by Timothy Hazar from medicalnewstoday.com, and it gives the short and long-term effects of fast food on the human body. But first, you may notice this is the part of the video where I normally have a puppy that I'm fostering, and my current foster, Monkey, he got adopted today. So he is at his new home, and he's got two canine brothers, and here's a picture of them together. So anyway, if you love animals, I beg and plead and urge you to consider fostering or volunteering on site. There's every shelter in the country, in the world, needs volunteers, and most of them desperately need fosters. If you're in the US, I don't know about the rest of the world, but the US is in a major shelter crisis as far as dogs, cats, etc. Here in Austin, Texas, they are currently about 60 dogs over capacity. And if every animal lover would just do a little fostering from time to time, that we would be in a lot better shape. So please consider fostering. It's not as expensive as you think, and it's not as time consuming, and it's good for the soul. Okay, and now on to the article. Okay, so this is from Medical News Today. It was last updated February 9th, 2023. Fast food is often nutritionally poor and high in calories. No shit, Sherlock. Evidence demonstrates that overeating commercial fast food products can negatively impact health in both the short and long term. Many fast food establishments now list the number of calories each item contains. However, this is only part of the consideration of whether it is healthy or not. Fast food is typically poor in terms of nutrition. I think I talked about this before, but I read somewhere there was a case of like two sisters, young girls who like all they ate was fast food. And there are certainly people who do live in food deserts where there's not a grocery store, or very rural places, and all they have, the options they have are fast food. But these girls happen to live on fast food. They never cooked, their parents never cooked. They just ate fast food for their diet, and they ended up with like scurvy and rickets and diseases that we don't see anymore because they're diseases of poor nutrition. And yet these girls were like obese, and suffering from malnutrition. That's how fucked up we are as a society. We just think this is normal. Okay. According to a 2015 review, fast food tends to contain various substances that are generally unhealthy. You don't say. It is high in sugar, salt, saturated or trans fats, and many processed preservatives and ingredients. It also lacks some beneficial nutrients. However, not all fast food has negative impacts, and a person can make an informed choice by researching the nutritional content of particular fast food items. People can find this information on the websites of most major restaurants. That said, even the more healthy fast food items are generally high in sugar, salt, saturated fats, and trans fats. So, the same. The Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion notes that the typical person in the United States consumes too much of these food components. You're kidding me. I just heard on the, I was going to say on the radio, 60% of Americans are obese. That, in my humble opinion, is because of the fast food industry. Fast food is typically high in sugar, salt, and saturated or trans fats. And the body's reaction to these nutrients results in a range of short-term impacts when a person eats fast food. So this is short-term. There's a spike in blood sugar. It breaks down quickly, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar because of the refined carbs and added sugar. Refined carbs, which is like refined wheat, and refined sugar, white sugar, and the millions of names that it has, are like the blight of humanity at this point. We have just gone so overboard. And I say this as a total sugar junkie. I am trying my damnedest to quit. Okay, moving on. This can cause people to feel tired after your insulin surges, then your blood sugar drops. And that happens in fast food, and it makes you want to eat more fast food. Blood pressure. A small 2016 study found that consuming high levels of salt could immediately impact the proper functioning of a person's blood vessels. Excess sodium intake also has links to fluid retention. Increased inflammation. A single serving of fast food could increase inflammation throughout the body. A 2015 study found that one fast food meal high in saturated fat increased airway inflammation in individuals with asthma. This inflammation acts as a trigger for asthma attacks. So just eating one fast food meal can cause people with asthma to have an asthma attack. That's so messed up. It affects nutrient intake. Fast food does not typically contain fresh fruit and vegetables. If an individual eats fast food frequently, they may find it challenging to reach their recommended daily intake of at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. They may also have difficulties reaching their ideal fiber intake, which, according to the Food and Drug Administration, 28 grams per day. Yeah, fast food has like zero fiber in it because it's so processed. Binge eating, good times, huh? Fast food is highly palatable. That's why we're addicted to it, meaning the body breaks it down quickly in the mouth, and it gives you that, as Alan Roberts would say, mouthgasm. Does not need much chewing. Therefore, it activates the reward centers in the brain rapidly, and you bet your ass that fast food companies have scientists that know all of this, and this is what they design their product knowing. It's by design meant to get you addicted from a young age, from a very young age. This combination trains the palate to prefer these highly processed, highly stimulating foods, and reduces someone's desire for whole, fresh foods. Yeah, because you're so used to the extreme flavors and the texture and the mouthfeel of the fast food. It's all designed to just be so over the top yummy that it's like heroin of food, or it's not really food. It's, again, Alan Roberts, I'll link his thing below. Really, he calls it food-like products. And it is a product that we think is food, but it's just causing all kinds of trouble for us. So a small 2017 study of 15 adults found that a single day of high-fat overeating damaged insulin sensitivity. Wow. This can then trigger a cycle of binge eating or binge eating disorder. I hope YouTube doesn't strike me for this. Research from 2018 and other previous studies have suggested a link between fast food consumption and the incidence of food addiction for these low nutrient items. Long-term impacts. There is plenty of well-researched evidence showing that regularly eating fast food can harm a person's health. A 2015 study identified the sometimes irreparable effects of eating fast food. Irreparable, that means irreversible, permanent damage. And this is from 2015, identified the sometimes irreparable effects of eating fast food. Such risks include obesity, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and various cardiovascular conditions. The digestive system. Many fast food meals are extremely low in fiber. Doctors associate low fiber diets with a higher risk of digestive conditions such as constipation and diverticular disease, as well as reductions in healthy gut bacteria. And so, knowing just the little that I know about our gut biome, if it's killing the good bacteria, that gives bad bacteria, which fast food feeds, processed refined sugar, refined flour. That's what yeast eats, and that's what all kinds of bacteria love. And then they're in there in your body craving more fast food. What a world. Immunity and inflammation. A 2019 review examined the effects of a Western diet on a person's immune system. This diet consists of high amounts of sugar, salt, and saturated fat from only a few sources. The authors noted that a Western diet could lead to higher inflammation, lower control of infection, higher cancer rates, and a higher risk of allergic and autoinflammatory disease. Wow. Memory and learning. A 2020 paper suggests a link between unbalanced diets high in saturated fat and simple carbs, typical of fast food, and a lower capacity for memory and learning. This sort of diet may also raise the risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Great. Allergies. In a 2018 review, the authors established a link between fast food consumption and an increase in asthma, rhinoconjunctivitis. That's rhino is nose. I'll look it up in a second. And eczema. Oh, eczema is a great time. I have had eczema on the insides of my elbows and my wrists for years, since I was a little kid. And the Happy Meal came out when I was like 8, so draw your own conclusions. All right, so rhinoconjunctivitis is a condition, inflammation of the nose and eyes caused by an allergic reaction, commonly associated with hay fever. It can be triggered by allergens like pollen, dust mites, or animal dander. So it's those terrible allergies that you get if you are allergic to those things. You feel like you have your head in a fishbowl. That's what it always felt like to me. And you can feel that way if you go to the drive-thru and eat fast food. Heart disease. The FDA suggests that a diet high in salt often increases a person's blood pressure, making a person more prone to heart attacks, stroke, kidney disease, or heart disease. The FDA also notes that a diet high in trans fats raises the amount of low-density lipoprotein, or bad cholesterol, and lowers the amount of good cholesterol. This means that a person is more likely to develop heart disease. And obesity. The U.S. Department of Agriculture points out that typical fast food contains a very high number of calories. If a person eats more calories than they burn each day, they gain weight, which may lead to obesity. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, obesity increases a person's risk of developing a range of serious health conditions. Education. Another consequence of younger people regularly eating fast food is their unintentional lack of understanding of basic meal prep, cooking, and healthy eating. Yeah, we have definitely lost that. I mean, by the time Gen X came along, I know that I wasn't taught to sew or to cook. And all the women in my family, and to garden, those three things, all the women in my family knew how to do those things. So um, we just didn't need to do it anymore. Over time, this perpetuates dependence on fast food. Yep. And people may not learn how to prepare healthy, balanced food in the home. And, if you know somebody that takes their kids to the drive through constantly ordering takeout, constantly door dashing fast food to their house, you know that the first thing they're going to say, if you were to say, hey, you got to stop giving your kids fast food, is I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to go shopping and cook all this food. And I don't have the money to buy health food and blah, blah, blah. And now fast food is so damn expensive. It's really crazy how much the prices have gone up. So you are much better off. Like, I made a pot of rice and beans with some seasoning and onions and peppers. And I've been eating on that for like 3 days. And it was like $2. I exaggerate, but it was like $10, if that. And that's like including buying the spice. Anyway, all right, let's get on with this shenanigans. Mental health impact. Eating lots of fast food could also impact an individual's mental health and make them more prone to depression and anxiety, the two things that plague practically everyone. Could it be something we're ingesting causing all this depression and anxiety? A 2021 study compared data from 322 males and 322 females aged 30 or older. They found an association between healthy food, such as leafy greens, nuts, and fish, and positive mood, while the opposite was true of fast food. So the people that ate whole foods, they were more happy and positive, while the people that ate fast food were not. In addition, women reported significantly more negative associations with fast food than men. In summary, fast food tends to be high in salt, sugar, and man, they're really driving this point home. I swear this is the 15th time I've read that sentence. Salt, sugar, saturated fats, trans fats, calories, and processed preservatives and ingredients. A wealth of well-conducted research has proven the negative health effects of consuming too much of these food components. Yes, too much. Like, what is too much? Before the 1970s, this did not really exist everywhere. I know McDonald's began in the 50s, but just the proliferation of fast food all over the country and then the world didn't happen until the 1970s. So in all of human history, we figured out ways to make decent food. Like, nobody was mass obesity back then. Oh my God. Okay, get off the soapbox and let's get to the end of this. A wealth of well-conducted research has proven the negative health effects of consuming too much of these food components. In the short term, fast food impacts blood sugar, blood pressure, increases inflammation, and may mean an individual does not eat enough necessary nutrients. In the long term, a diet rich in fast food could lead to issues with digestion, immunity, inflammation, heart health, obesity, and more. Not all fast food is bad, however. Certain menu items might be lower in these substances than others, while some fast food outlets might focus on providing more healthy options. To preserve health, a person should try to identify fast food items that contain less salt, fat, sugar, and total carbs, and generally try to limit the amount of fast food that they consume. And that is what I have for you today, guys. If you like this video, please like it. Please leave a comment. Please do subscribe if you have not already. I would love to know what you think. You know, how much fast food do you eat? I would be curious because I haven't eaten it in many years, and I know I just talked to someone today that said they hadn't eaten fast food in 20 years. So I'm just curious, what people are eating out there. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and listening to me talk shit on the internet. I so appreciate it. We are almost to 2,000 subs, and I'm very excited about that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.